Hi everyone, this is Gwendolyn Charlie, the recreation specialist for the Delcon service area. Today's topic is on biking. So our learning objectives for today, I'm going to show you some safety equipment for bikes, and then we're going to go into some basic bike fitting. First, we're going to talk about the helmet. It's always important to wear a helmet when we're out riding. So we're going to look at the features of the helmet. Right here is the front. It has a bill. The bill helps to protect your eyes against sun beaming into it. And then turning to the back, this is the back of the helmet. So we see that the helmet covers all the way from front to the back of the skull. On helmets, they usually have straps, so that way you can strap your helmet on. And then way in the back inside the helmet, there's this adjuster and that you can adjust onto your head. So what we want with helmets is to have that right snug fit. We don't want it to be too loose or too tight. So I'm going to show you here how to fit into a snug helmet. So we're going to put our helmet on. We want to make sure it's snug. We don't want it to be too loose, or else it's going to shift up and down and it could potentially get into your eyes, and that could be dangerous. You don't want it to be too tight because that's just going to be uncomfortable. So what you want to do, if it's too loose, go ahead, or if it's too tight, go ahead and use that adjuster in the back. Make sure it's a snug fit. Once you have that, go ahead and get the straps, and then you're going to strap and hear the click sound for it, like so. Again, with the straps, you don't want it to be too loose, or else you're going to have that shift on your helmet again. And then you also don't want it to be too tight, because that could just be uncomfortable and it could choke you. Now we're going to talk about the basic bike fitting part. To get the perfect bike fit for you, the first thing you would need to do is go on the internet and print yourself a bike fitting chart. So here's mine. The one thing you want to look for your perfect bike fit is going to be height and an inseam measurement. So those two things will get you what your bike size is. There are lots of bike sizes from extra small to all the way up to extra large. So one of those bikes will fit for you. You just have to take the time to find your perfect fit with these next measurements we're going to show you. So looking for height, and then we're going to measure inseam. This is my inseam measurement. So I have the measuring tape here. I'm just going to put it to where I sit on the seat, and then bring it all the way down to my foot. And my inseam measurement is going to be 27. So now that we have our inseam measurement and our height, we're going to go back to that bike chart that I mentioned earlier. And then you're going to take your inseam and your height, take it all the way across, and you should get your bike fit. And looking at mine here, mine is going to say medium, and I ride a medium bike. Okay guys, before we go out riding, we want to do a bike safety check. So the first thing we want to check for is your tires. Make sure your tires are properly inflated. Go ahead and check your tires for any holes, or maybe they have bullheads. Go ahead and take those out. Looking at my tires here, these ones look pretty good right now. Next, we want to look at reflectors, because reflectors are important again, so that way you can be seen from other traffic. So looking at my bike, it doesn't have reflectors, but I did put bike reflectors on. So I have this light here. I always test my lights when I go out, and we can see that one's working. And then here I have my flashlight. That's gonna turn on, which is great. And then also I have these little lights here on my spokes, and then I just turn these to provide extra light for us. Okay, we're gonna talk about some basic bike maintenance. So it's important to look for a few things. We're gonna look out for our bearings and our chain, and also our brakes for brake fluid. So the first thing is bearings. There's bearings gonna be here around your steering wheel, and then also in your pedals, and then again here in your gears. Make sure that your steering wheel and everything is tight, so that's good. And then around your pedal, make sure your pedal's stroking good. The next thing is looking at your chain, making sure our chain is well lubricated. If it's too dry, it could be a potential danger hazard. And then you also don't want to get the chain too hot, or else with the heat, it could snap your chain. It's also important for your brake fluids to be maintained, because we don't want to wear and tear our brakes, and we don't want to ride with worn brakes. Otherwise, we won't know how to stop. An important thing about bike maintenance is looking at your sprockets. So we're gonna zoom down into our sprockets here. Sprockets are often overlooked. Looking at mine here, you can see a healthy sprocket is going to have bevels like this. So it's gonna come up, but also like have a flat head. And then as we check the rest of our sprockets, we can see some of them are starting to point, so coming into like a pyramid shaped form. And why is it important that we look at our sprockets? Because our chains latch onto our sprockets. It's important that they latch onto the healthy bevel shaped sprocket. That way they work together smoothly. If they don't, and you have the pyramid shaped sprockets, that pyramid shaped sprocket is going to stick into your chain, and it could eventually lock your bike up. So just check your sprockets before going out riding. My sprockets are still good, but we can see some of them are starting to pyramid, which means I ride a lot. I will have to go get this serviced soon. One last thing we're gonna look at is going to be finding your right pedal stroke, and that has to do with having the perfect height seat. Those two things work together. Okay guys, just watch when my foot gets to the bottom pedal. You can see that it's almost at 180 degrees, but with a slight bend. So we just saw the correct form for pedal and seat height. Now, some people don't have the correct position, and we're gonna show that to you. So here I'm gonna put my seat down to show an example of an incorrect position. So let me just show you first on the bike when I sit on the seat. When we look at the way bottom pedal, the 6 o'clock pedal stroke, you can see that my legs are more bent. And again, like I said, you want it at almost 180 degrees, almost straight legged. but still with a slight bend. So that should be the correct seat position and pedal stroke for you. But if someone was riding with an incorrect position, this is what it would look like. So we just saw the correct form for pedal and seat height. Now, some people don't have the correct position, and we're gonna show that to you. So here I'm gonna put my seat down to show an example of an incorrect position. So let me just show you first on the bike when I sit on the seat. When we look at the way bottom pedal, the 6 o'clock pedal stroke, you can see that my legs are more bent. And again, like I said, you want it at almost 180 degrees, almost straight legged, but still with a slight bend. So that should be the correct seat position and pedal stroke for you. But if someone was riding with an incorrect position, this is what it would look like. Before we go out riding, it's important to get a good stretch in. That way our muscles are loose before we go on our long ride. We can even make it a fun activity and use our bike to get some stretches in. So today I'm going to show you 3 stretches using our bikes. The first one is going to be a quad stretch. So we're going to use our bike as a balance and hold our foot and get that good quad stretch in. So we're going to do holds for about 15 seconds. Go ahead and count it out. That's about 15 there. And then go to the other leg and then hold that for 15 seconds again. Make sure to get that quad to stretch. So that's one stretch. The next stretch is going to be a hip and calf stretch. That's going to be holding onto our handlebars and pumping our brakes. And then we're just going to extend one foot out and then hold again for 15 seconds. This is going to stretch your hip and your calf. That's about 15 there. We're going to go on this side. Same thing, just do the other foot. So that's about 15 there. The last stretch we're going to do is going to be a back and a leg stretch. And the way we're going to do that is hold our bike and we're just going to bend at the waist. If you want, you could touch the ground. Hold it for 15 seconds. There you have it. It's important to tell someone where you're going out riding and your time frame of your ride. In case something happens, say you get a flat while out riding, and then that person knows what the time frame you're supposed to be back. So let's say you have a flat tire and you're not back in time. That person's going to come over and go check on you. So one thing we want to wear is bright clothing because we want to be seen by other traffic. If you don't have any bright clothing, the next best thing is to wear like a bright safety vest. So here I have mine. This is just another safety factor because you do want to be seen when you're out riding and not invisible.